side-lying SI joint isometrics. So we're going to be doing some PEMAs and some HEMAs. So PEMA is it's a pushing isometric, P-I-M-A, pushing isometric muscle action, and a HEMA, which is a holding. So there's pushing and holding. So pushing and holding just means, obviously, if I'm, say, going to do some bicep work and I want to do a pushing exercise, so I'm actually going to activate this to try to move it, I'm going to get my other hand here and I'm not going to let it move, but I'm going to try to do this. So this left hand here is holding perfectly still. So this is a pushing. So this one's trying to do the movement, whereas a holding will be, that's trying to stop movement. It's holding still. So with this hand, I'd be trying to push down and that arm's just not letting it happen. So that's the difference between a holding and a pushing, or a HEMA and a PEMA. We're just going to be doing that now with our SI joint. So I'm going to do this in a side-lying position. I have played around with it with the foam roller here. I actually don't like it with the foam roller, but feel free to give it a go yourself, because this is a bit of a tricky one to get, if I'm being honest, but we'll get into it. So I'm just going to get into this side-lying position. I've got everything at sort of 90 degrees here. What I actually want is I want to pull this strap. So I've got a strap obviously just under my knee and then just wrapped around an anchor point that I can sort of pull on. So I'm going to sort of try to push a little bit there to help, and then I'm going to pull here to get some tension now in this SI joint. The reason I like doing this without the roller is I find I get a bit of a better stretch when my leg is down as opposed to when it's up. So this is why I like it here. So what we're going to do is going to get into this position just till you get a bit of a stretch through here, pull on there, and then we're going to hold still and do a PEMA to start with. So the PEMA is the pushing. So I'm going to try to use this stuff to pull against this, but obviously not let it happen. So I'm just going to hold still here. There'll be no movement whatsoever. I'm going to use this tissue to try to pull back. And you're not going to be doing it at a huge amount of intensity, probably 20-30%, but your program will say. But notice this top hand, my left hand, I'm actually pushing in here. If I don't, and I'll actually kind of pull myself forward with this motion. So I'm just in here, and then I'm pulling. So using this tissue to try to pull. So if this wasn't holding tight, I'd be doing that. But obviously this hand is just not letting that movement happen. Boom. So that's the pushing. Then for the holding isometric, exactly the same position, but now rather than this trying to make movement, I'm actually going to try to almost feel like I'm contracting it, and I'm going to rotate my torso backwards, not just my shoulders, because then I'm just going to rotate my spine, but just rotate my torso back. So now what's happening is the weight of my torso is trying to pull my hip back, but I'm not letting it, so I'm contracting here to not let it move. I did originally try this by getting to this position and then trying to contract that to hold and then pull through here, but that just didn't seem to work. So I did this and then I rotated back and I'm like, oh, there we go. That's a nice holding. It's probably going to take a couple of goes to get this right, because I think what I did first is I tried to rotate my hips. That didn't work. I rotated my shoulders. That kind of didn't work. Like I said, that was just a rotation through my spine. But then I was able to just get that sort of balance point right, where I'm rotating my whole, not just rotate, even leaning backwards a little bit. I can feel that tension there. So what you'll probably be doing in the exercise is you do it for a couple of minutes. You just do 30 seconds of each. So you'll be here, and then I'll do the pushing or pulling, pushing, pulling, same thing. So this here, I'm trying to actually actively pull against. You do that probably for 30 seconds and then switch it. So now I'm trying to rotate back to just hold with this tissue, and that's your holding for 30 seconds. Whoa. Whew. I'm going to leave that there until the end of the video. I can do this after it's finished, but that's basically it. It's going to take a couple of goes to get that right. So don't, I mean, if you get it right the first time, great. But it is a really tricky bit, part of the body to actually get to, obviously, which is why so many people got so many problems with it too. But give yourself a couple of goes. Obviously, if you've got any questions, let us know.